My name's Kent Hess, third child,
How old are you?
31. I would say two parts. One, just the many people that he touched in church services and professional settings. Also because of my mom. I mean, without her, I wouldn't have really known all the many wonderful things about him and just traditions that he thought were important, and that my mom, whether she liked him or not, continued on. Um, just little simple things, simple pleasures that he enjoyed that my mom carried on. Probably video games. I know my dad was, one of the first persons to get the Atari 2600, and it was just something that he was into. He was into technology and those kind of things, and saw it as something on the cutting edge. And whether my mom liked it or not, she not necessarily encouraged, but she allowed myself and my brother to delve into video games as well, and to do those things. Camping would be another. Um, I know my mom said several times that having a 26-foot camper isn't something that she necessarily saw herself ever purchasing, but to take everybody out on trips and enjoy the outdoors and have those spontaneous moments were something that she really wanted to encourage. I like the camping trips. Those were good. Um, Sometimes didn't necessarily know where we were going, but it was just kind of the traveling part was fun. Um, Sometimes getting there wasn't or the actual destination wasn't as fun as just traveling there in the back. And a lot of times the video games were accompanied with that. So I can remember, my brother and I in the back, the camper there with a little black and white TV, maybe 6-inch TV, and just, playing video games on the way, and certainly pass the time. Uh,
Trouse?
I think we could all take something from those lessons of just traveling. Just enjoying the time that you have, and destinations in mind, but enjoy the traveling part as well. And I still do that. It's really had a profound effect upon all of our lives. I mean, my dad's death was more than untimely. It was just, but with my mom keeping up the traditions and the memories, and really informing us of what my dad was like. Um, to me, growing up, and it's I guess sounds funny to say, but um, I don't know that I necessarily missed him. I mean, my mom was always there playing dual role of mom and dad, and doing the best she could. And she knew uh, that if it was something that my dad would have wanted myself or my brother or others to explore and to enjoy in life, then she was all for it. I mean, case in point was, I saw in some magazine about a mini bike, a little motorcycle, and I don't think I really knew what I was doing or how to put it together, or that it would be as difficult as it was to construct it. But I really just came to my mom and said, "This is what I want to do. I want to build this," and she's like, "Yeah, you won't be able to do that, and this and that, and that it's probably really tough, and who knows if it's even going to work." But I don't know. In the end, with the help of my grandma too, she talked to my mom and said, "I think he knows what he's going to be doing. I think he's going to be able to do it." And it was one of those opportunities to grow, and sometimes it's not necessarily, I guess in my life, it hasn't been, since I haven't had my dad there to, you know, show me how each tool works, and put together a mini bike or all those things. Sometimes it's just been the support. Uh, a crutch. Well, like I said, I mean, not having my dad around was definitely it made things different. I mean, I remember fathers and sons outings, and having people in the church say, "Okay, I'm gonna take you to fathers and sons," but I didn't. I don't know. I mean, I knew who they were, and had interactions with them. But father and son is something deeply, it's supposed to be intimate, family. So a lot of times it was, at those moments you really notice that, hey, there's something different here, and I think it's a credit to my mom that I didn't always feel that. It was only at rare occasions that, you know, luckily people stepped in and said, I want to do this. I want to, you know, Bishop Daly and Bowden and others would, and Berger as well, would step in and, take us out on family trips or father and son outings. But there were definitely times when I felt that, yeah, this is different. This is hard.
But you did go.
I did go. Managed to get into a lot more trouble. I think. I don't think there was anybody that actually invited me 2 times in a row consecutively to go father and son, but it was good, and I made the best of it. And
you think your mom slept worse or better that night?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I've had. I mean, a lot of people have pulled me aside, and sometimes it's people that I don't even know who they are. I don't really grasp the connection or how they came in contact with my dad, but people have just pulled me aside. Sometimes, I'm at church or state conference, and somebody will pull me aside in the hallway, and of course, they'll say their name or how they worked with my dad. But I think the important thing is just the different the connections that he made on a daily basis with people, and to really make them feel special. And it's just interesting to me that those people felt that need to pull me aside and do the same thing, make me feel special, just by reason that I was born into a family. He deserves to feel that way, or let's pass on what Kyle would have been doing. Let's do that right now in the hallway or out at a campsite or wherever. Would my life have been better with Kyle around? I do think about it. Try not to think about it a lot because, there's a lot of questions of why, and I don't like to go there. But I think about it a lot, and I know my life would be real different. And in a lot of things, I've just tried to adopt the attitude that life is what it is. You shouldn't go through life laying blame or questioning why or really thinking about what could have been. I guess the most important thing is that I'm happy with where I am in my life and what I'm doing. And I know that all my siblings are they're finding their own path as well, and they're trying to find that happiness. Growing up, my mom, in so many little ways, like ways that, as I'm getting older and not thinking about kids especially, but, I think if I was a parent, things that I would want to share with my kids. It's just real interesting how my mom has just taken the high road on so many things. Case in point, I think back to so many of our meals together. They were just casseroles, and there there was always plenty of food. It wasn't always top shelf, as far as, I don't think either of us had a steak until we were in high school. Things like that. But, it's real interesting because I don't think any of us even knew the difference or cared. And, some of my friends and people I come in contact with it, that's kind of a major thing, something that they really enjoy. But we kind of grew up, the conversations at the dinner table were always more important than the food that was placed out for us. So it was kind of interesting. uh, I'm sure like most large families, dinner time is always an interesting experience, and it kind of changed as we grew up, and everything from different traditions about how we're going to pray or how you choose the person to pray, or different cups that we'd fight over. You know, there's I don't know. Dinner was always a unique experience because you wanted you wanted to always sit at the head of the table, and so um, I don't know. We would do different things to try and compete to do that. I guess
Go
that's
ahead,
it.
tell me the truth. No.
I,
Did you try and take Karina's place?
Karina didn't really
Or was it
step up into the mix. It was more just my brother and I, and then that would compete for that. And and we would invent different games. A couple of our cups had little numbers on the bottom, either a 3 or 4, and Kirk and I would switch. Like, okay, if you have like he and I would look at it, and we'd hold up the number 3, and like we both got a number 3, so we'd say, okay, if your cup, after you drink it all, if your cup has a number 3, then you're the winner for tonight. And of course we got the 2 number 3s. We'd engineer it, so it would always flip back and forth. But there were always little games that we would play, and dinner time was just kind of another time to hang out together. Yeah, I guess my mom, kind of encouraged that as well, knowing that my dad was a wrestler, and that was the time of the WWE. So, um, growing up with my brother being several years older, he kind of taught me by trial and, fire. Uh, as far as wrestling moves, and would try out everything. And then once he went off to college, then it was my turn to pass on that knowledge to Karina and Cammy, and it didn't always work. There were a lot of tears and crying that went on after that. But Karina and I and Cammy, we would wrestle a lot and play kung fu. At the time, I was in the YMCA karate program, so I had bought all the pads, the foot pads and everything, so that we could play. Unfortunately, we didn't have a full set of pads for everybody, so it was just one set. So I would always be a gentleman and let Karina and Cammy choose first. So one would get a left a left foot pad or something, and I don't know, we were all mismatched, so you could only use one foot and one arm, or I don't think sometimes I could even use my punches. But it was a lot of fun. What makes my dad's death different is that it was kind of almost I don't know, he died doing what he loved to do. I mean, almost like even a martyr situation where you're in the service of others and you're taken. you know um, it'd be different if he died in his sleep or car wreck or something else, but I don't think he really even necessarily needed to be out at that out at the youth conference, but he wanted to be there, and more importantly, others wanted him to be there, and to participate in the activities that they were going to do. And in that regard, it does make his death tragic, but at the same time, there's a lesson to be learned about, even you know, even when your family needs you at home, you're in the service of others. All growing up, I mean, celebrating my dad's birthdays just like celebrating anyone else's, and anniversary of his death as well. We've always gone out as a family or individually, as the case may be, gone out and, said a few words. There's always that moment of thinking about another year's gone by and what have we done to bring our family closer. And so it's been, they say the funerals are always for the living, and for us going out there, it's always been for us to take stock of where we're at in our lives. And I know it's pretty much all of our holidays have been that way, to really think about where we are as a family and individually. My dad's death is one that's just been, I would say it's just a technical reality, in that, all growing up and even today, I mean, in so many people's hearts, and he's still alive today, and he's alive by the influences that he has upon others. The decisions we make, the activities that we enjoy. I mean, there's so many little ways, his life continues to shape our lives. So, yeah, he still lives.
Do you feel that yourself, that he's alive to you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I feel that I don't know. It's a really good thing to hear my brothers and sisters share with their kids about Grandpa Kyle and what he was like, and I don't know. Just it brings home how important genealogy is, and that we remember those that did have a real impact on our lives. I'd never been there before, to Catalina, more or less to the campsite. Really struck me how remote it was. Kind of makes sense. The whole time I was just sitting there thinking, because I've been in a few situations at campsites and stuff where there's been an emergency situation, and it just struck me how remote they were, and that how the scene must have been, to not know where my dad was, and really to get help out there. And I mean, it just must have been horrific.
You didn't have any anxiety going there?
I didn't myself. I mean, that kind of thing doesn't bother me.
Or anything like closure, or you felt confirmation?
No, I don't think it. I don't think it ever. It's not something that I needed in my life to go out and see and do. I mean, I know Kristen really felt like she didn't need that, didn't need to go and see that. I'd never seen it. I didn't know where it was at or anything, and I too, I don't feel like I needed to necessarily see that. It was good to go out there, I think, just to pick a time to think about them again and to see that. Again, read the stories, but for my own emotional well-being, no, I didn't. I don't think I ever needed to feel closure or to. I don't know what to say, really. I mean, in one word, is she's just probably the most selfless person I've ever come to know. So I don't know what to say. I mean, really, without my mom, I wouldn't know anything about my dad. Um, I mean, all the genealogy's there, but very few of us have stopped to read it or look through it. And my mom's done all the organizing and everything. Um, I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess the one major lesson I've learned from my dad's death and from how my mom has carried on his legacy is patience. Um, Seeing how I've changed through teenage years and how my brother went through that as well, the rebellious stage, and came out through that, and just the different phases of life. And I think from it all, I've learned patience, to have patience for others, and that it's really helped me in my present line of work as a teacher. I mean, just to take people into account, understand that their life situation at this present moment may not be as conducive to learning or to behavior or whatever. I mean, sometimes life gets in the way, and so it's made me a more patient person, to try and understand that we can't always control the things that happen in life.